Hey, good morning. Have you heard any of these sayings? People won't care what you say, they will remember how you make them feel. And the second one is this: people won't care exactly what you say until they know that you care. I think I got the first one mixed up a little bit. It says people will remember actually how you make them feel, not exactly what you say. So, any of these quotes that are very commonly used, and you see them all about, any of these quotes actually begs the question: how do people know how you make them feel? So we're going to explore those things this morning. My name is Lisa Dublin. I'm a life coach and a speaking coach, and I help professionals and executives to live and to speak and to lead with confidence. I am the founder of two programs now: the Speak with Confidence program that we run once a year. The next cohort is going to be in March 2026, God willing, and my upcoming Find Your Fire cohort that is for speakers who, yes, you can speak, but did you ever consider that you can make money from this thing? I will teach you how to go from 0 to 2K in my next speaking program, Find Your Fire. But let's get started. Wherever you're watching me from, that could be either YouTube or LinkedIn this morning. Welcome to This Just Came to Me. I'm on a 31-day YouTube challenge, and just kind of streaming as well onto LinkedIn. So you can run over to my Basement Chronicles channel. I'm right here. Let me see if I can do. Oh my goodness, I can. You can go subscribe, scan that code, and subscribe to the channel because I do a lot of things over there. I actually have a podcast there as well. We just published episode number 47, I think it is. Episode number 47 came out on Thursday last week. So you can go find out more about it there, and just enjoy the podcast. Let me just remove this. Right. So episode number 47 is out. Everything changes when you are ready. You don't get the teacher when you wish for one, you get them when you are truly ready. So thank you for just subscribing to the channel, enjoying the podcast. But let's get into the topic. So they say, like, those kinds of communication topics are soft skills, but I like to call them atomic habits that move business deals, they move friendships, they move relationships, they move the world. That ability to not just say something, but to make people feel good about themselves and to make them feel either inspired, confident, worthy, valuable, all of those positive qualities. If you can become the person who not just orchestrates and manipulates the language, but I believe what I want to talk about today is starting from a heart posture of: we are valuable, we are all equal, and you have something to offer the world. And with however I approach you, I would love you to know and leave knowing that this is who you are and this is what you can do. It's very true. People don't care and remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel. So, before I continue, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Today in my household as well, it is Father's Day for my husband of 21 years coming up. And we have three beautiful kids, three sons. So we had a family meeting to decide what we're going to do today for him. And, getting plans in place. Plans are already in place and in the oven. Let's put it that way. So I'm happy to be here this morning talking about those things. So, I think when I was putting the topic together and thinking of examples that I could point to that I had experienced, I want to start with something I wrote about yesterday on LinkedIn, an article I wrote about somebody I was pitching an idea to. And that person just treated me so well. I will always remember that. That is why they have made it into the annals of my stories. So picture this: I'm a young 20 something year old entrepreneur, and I'm pitching an idea to this business owner. She's well established in my country. And there's a bit of trepidation there. I prepare my little proposal. I ask for a meeting, and she says yes. And I enter her office, very executive looking, impressive desk, impressive chair. And, I'm just trying to get my feet up with this business. And while I'm pitching the idea to her, this woman gets up, she walks around her lovely desk, and she comes to sit next to me. There were two chairs facing her desk, right? Guest chairs for guests. And she comes to sit next to me in the guest chair next to me and gets very engrossed as I present that proposal because she's right next to me. She's pointing things out, asking questions, nodding her head. Can you imagine what that did for me as a new entrepreneur? Seeing that somebody gave me just gave me some time to present my proposal. And secondly, the way that she was treating me with such respect and interest, it showed in her body language, it showed in the gesture of moving from that executive position to actually come sit next to me. Do you see how you create moments that show people how you feel about them and you can help them to feel a certain way? What about you? I always love to say, when I speak about these topics, that it is for our betterment to think about hearing the examples, seeing the illustrations. How can I recreate or imitate the intent of the stories? Because obviously you're not going to be imitating the stories, right? But you're going to want to imitate the intent of the stories. How do you create those moments that you can help people to feel a certain way, a certain good, a certain positive? And it's not flattery. Let's go there for a little bit. So let me finish off that example. I was so happy to see her, for me to experience that way of doing business. It wasn't high-handed. It was very organic, very authentic, very sincere. And if just her actions boosted my confidence. And we had such a great discussion because I was confident. I was then able to really present that proposal to her well. And my company ended up getting that business package that I presented to her. But more importantly than getting the package was, I remember almost 20 something years later. Yeah, more than 20 something. What is it? No, not 20 something. I remember, but close to it, anywho. I remember how she made me feel. And that's very important. I've always remembered it as a business person when, other people approach me for business, for deals, and so on. It's not just a matter of whether I can or not, but in the moment, if you're speaking to another human being, by all means, take the time to figure out who am I speaking to? How can I make this conversation more human? How can this person leave feeling on top of the world, even though I mightn't be able to contribute, to buy, to whatever? But it's how you make people feel that really matters. So, I was thinking about the topic as well. And I said to myself, where does it all begin? Because I'm in the communication field. And if you know the nuts and bolts of something, you know how to manipulate it. But I want to point actually to a quote that a student of mine said the other day. I had my test program for the Find Your Fire program. And this is what my student said. He says, let me see if I find it. It's just so insightful. He says, you can't fake inauthenticity. Something being inauthentic catches up with you. That's what he said. Being inauthentic catches up with you. In other words, don't try to fake it. And so, in thinking of that topic, I said, I think when we talk about trying to make people feel positive, inspired, powerful, empowered, all of those great feelings that we can create in our speaking and our communication with people, we can make them feel valuable, even though we are, giving a criticism. Or we can make them feel noble and leave them feeling dignified, can't we? We can do that. But it starts with that little phrase right there. Being inauthentic catches up with you. So you have to start, I think, with everybody from a sense of, what do I think about this person? Am I fully convinced that I'm facing and I'm interacting with a whole human being, a complete human being, somebody who's worthy of attention, uh, admiration, all of the great things, it starts there. Because any other way that you start to want to like make people feel good, it might come off as flattery. And there's a difference, right, between flattery and giving compliments. For example, this book that I always point to, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I think it makes a great case for this distinguishing between the two: flattery and, giving genuine compliments, that kind of thing. Because it says flattery is, I know why I'm doing it. I don't even like you. I don't even care about you, but I'm going to pile on and lay on the compliments as thickly as I can to kind of make you believe I like you, so that you will let your guard down or give me something in return. That is flattery. That person can do no wrong. It's not a measured, logical kind of relationship with people. One of the things that I've learned to do, particularly because I coach a lot of high profile people, as a coach, I step, and I do it for every single person, but there's an extra layer, I think, with like high profile people, because you don't want the image out there to get in the way. One of my mentor coaches advised me, when I realized the kinds of people who were coming into my coaching practice, and I was like, oh my gosh, how do I handle this? How do I handle this? And he said, you're not coaching the image of the person out there. You are coaching the person themselves. You're not coaching the image. Forget that. That's not who came into your coaching session. The person who came is whole. The person who came is fully 100% human. Do your job. Do what you were, coach them according to the principles, the objectivity that you have experienced and that you're trained to bring to any coaching session, etc. Forget the image. And that has been one of the guiding principles for me as a coach, to be able to distinguish between them. And oftentimes, when I make that distinction, then the kind of approach is holistic. I can say the good and I can say the not so pleasant. I can point out things and give all of the admiration in the world, and also be the quiet, non judgmental space for, hey, these are things that you absolutely need to work on. Are you wanting to go there? Like, what's on your mind today? Because, like, from what I see, this is a problem. This is something you might want to actually consider working on. It makes a difference. What am I saying in not so many words this morning? Oh my gosh, y'all. It's probably because, like, I've been up forever, like stuffing the turkey, doing this, doing that, okay? Excuse this mom who's about to go running as well, and momming at the same time, and live streaming at the same time. All of the things, right? What I'm saying is, let us begin from an authentic feeling towards people. When you meet somebody for the first time, or when you realize that you're too quick to give a smile when you see somebody, but there's some kind of darkness in your heart about them, some kind of resentment or jealousy or envy or resentment, or stepping back, as in, I don't really trust, like, know this person. Just step back and acknowledge how you feel about this person. And then, secondly, just see what's good, what's bad. Who's this human being before you? That kind of approach makes me not so effusive. When you see somebody, sometimes just, hi, oh my God, no. Hey, how you doing? Because I've taken the time to kind of figure out who you are in my head. I've taken the time to just be normal with you and to understand I'm dealing with another human being who has highs and lows, who has things, accolades, and things that, and weaknesses. Because of taking the time to be that objective, when you do come to approach people, you can be certain the things that you say will not be over the top, neither will they be totally negative. They won't be like flattery, neither will there be a deliberate effort to like denigrate that person. It will be measured because it's coming from a clean, objective place as much as possible. Don't get me wrong, we all have our preferences. I like everybody else. I have mine. However, in dealing with people, if you start from how authentic you can be with them and how you think about them, then you have a better chance of letting that person feel heard, seen, inspired after speaking with you or interacting with you. It's very true what they say. People do not remember what you say as much as they remember how you make them feel. So that's the first major point I was talking about, just interacting one on one with people. I want to apply this right now to how this works in business. And the second major example I can think about to illustrate this point of how you communicate values and how you communicate feeling to people that's well meant and well executed is what I've done. If I may, no, let's start with a bigger example because not just about 100 people know about my Speak with Confidence program at this point. About 100 people. Okay, so let's use a bigger example. Let's say Apple. You go buy an Apple Watch. What when you buy Apple, what do you think about? I remember even before having getting Apple anything, the iMac, the MacBook, the phone, the watch. Even I have Power Beats as well when I go running, right? Like they're all in the Apple family. One of the things that I absolutely loved was, and I guess that means I was sold even before I bought, was seeing the glowing Apple logo on the computers. Saw them in movies. I saw them when I was at school at the University of Alberta. Lots of students had MacBooks all over the place, and you just see this glowing light. You just see this thing just glowing, and like it was just it made you feel well. For me, I love a little bit. I'm a little techie, just a little bit like forward thinking, I would say. So it just all added to the progressive nature in my head of where things and life was going and were going. So I love that. So it made me feel good. And when you think about the best brands that are out there, they make you feel a certain way. You see the Nike swoosh and you immediately associate it with athleticism, with that get go attitude, that get up and let's go running, let's go do it, right? That's why we do Nike. It's Jordan, yes, but I don't play basketball, but I love Nikes because it's just like it's a going concern. It makes you want to keep on going. So well, think of the brands that you buy into. Why do you buy Fenty Beauty? Because it's just hip. It's just, it's beautiful. It caters to everybody. It's diverse. It has a certain oomph to it that Brianna brings. So she's the brand. Think of the other brands that you have and that you buy into. It's because of how they make you feel. What am I trying to say? The same principle applies. And if you're listening to me right now and you do have examples of brands that make you feel a certain way, put them in the chat, right? So I want to give you a story of, so I had a choice between buying poetry courses on either there were two providers. Should I say the names? Does it even matter? Anyway, it was there's Masterclass and there is BBC Maestro. So I was looking for these writing poetry courses, whatever, and I came across a course with Caroline Duffy. I think she is well-known poet. But here's what sold me. It's how I felt seeing the ad. She is sitting in, oh my goodness, like this beautiful poetic um like den, and there's a rich yellow on her chair, and it's a nice leather bound chair, like lovely gold stitching. She has the teacup, and there's another shot of her in a very quaint coffee shop sitting outside, and lots of flowers and everything. They created atmosphere, and she's selling poetry. And I mean, it's not because I'm an English major, or maybe it's because of it. So I deal with stories, and I've always loved to speak and loved to read. So all of these emotions that were evoked from my childhood came back. Like they should be listening to this and using this as a perfect example of how to market something. And of course, while she's speaking and talking about poetry, it is against this background. So whereas I mean, there is a synergy between what she's talking about and the atmosphere that was created. So story-like, so rich, so opulent, so classic. It just so appealed to me. I'm like, okay, I am going to take that poetry course. And I did. And I've been very satisfied. Like she's really taking you through just the rudiments of poetry and the way she speaks about it. She draws from her work as well as from others. So it's a solid course that was marketed according to just human emotion. And so when I came to do my course, Speak with Confidence, the one of the first things I put down was, how did I want people to feel? I wanted people, after doing that 6 week Speak with Confidence course, to feel that they were part of something bigger. I wanted them to feel that they were empowered. I wanted people to feel that they had graduated into or from something that was worth it. So there was a certain rigor and inquiry that I introduced into the course to make it worth its weight. But also, there's other things that I did as well. And I do it in all of like my coaching, my speaking, that sometimes how you, as the provider of the thing, the way that you come across, it helps people to see their own worth. So if I show up like grungy, which I don't ever do, if I show up not looking my best, if I show up kind of without, I tend to want to put that image out there because in my head that's who I am. It's not even a put on. Elegance, sophistication, something that is tasteful. These are my watchwords, honestly, and I don't think it's something we need to hide. When you start from how do you want to make people feel, you have an idea of how you're going to roll out the course, roll out the product, how you're going to advertise it, the feeling that you want people to get and to sustain and nurture and harbor. So there's an excitement that I create around Speak with Confidence because I want people to have ownership of it, to know that they are with the greats. You are a great, and you're coming with other greats into the program. And although we didn't start out there, because many times what happens in Speak with Confidence is that where people start is not where they end up. And I do believe it is a byproduct of confidence, that you get confident in one area, and by, I guess, by the law of indirect association, what happens is it spills over into other areas of your life. So many people who do Speak with Confidence become so confident and have such an eclectic experience of the world. They begin to see how big the world is and they start to head for more, if that makes any sense. So by the end of Speak with Confidence, it happened again in this last cohort that just ended in April. In April to May, yeah, it ended around the middle of May. By the end of the cohort, people had applied for other jobs, had interviews, people had applied for other like funding, started businesses. Like people bought mics and beginning to step out there and speak. They got speaking gigs. Y'all, confidence does things to you. It plants seeds in other areas of your life. It fertilizes, that's the word. It fertilizes other areas of your life. And so I wanted to create that atmosphere of big things are possible. And you come in one way, and like we literally see the progression of people throughout the program. Yes, they begin to speak with more confidence and authenticity. What happens in Speak with Confidence is like the age old ad for, I think it's for the Apple, for the iPhone. And it says, does it make calls? Because it does so many other things. It's like, does it make calls? With Speak with Confidence, it's like, okay, do you actually end up speaking with more confidence and authenticity? Yes, that happens, but other things also happen. You become more aware of yourself and your potential. You start to hobnob and to know that you belong with the best of the best, because by the grace of God, that's who I've attracted with the caliber that I put out, the best of the best. So you become one of those because you are here. That's what it means. And I think like I add on little very subtle touches as well. I will show up a certain way. And it's not by accident. I do curate my image because it's part of what I offer, even in my one-on-one coaching. You would have to be a very good friend, and we would have to be coaching like 3 o'clock in the morning for my camera to be off. Okay, because I most likely might have been, if the camera is off, I might still be in my bathroom coaching you, right? But you would never know. You would have no. That would happen. I show up a certain way because it's a premium service. That's what you pay for. That you pay for just that experience that you create for people. By the end of it, you want to feel that you've been in a space that celebrated you, a space that you belonged because you're that dignified, that elegant, that sophisticated, all of the things. Why not? That is always what I say. Why not you? So, how are you making people feel today? And how can you double down on that ability to draw people to you, to maintain friendships? Oh geez, my thing is falling today. I apologize. My mic is can you guys hear me okay? I hope it's working properly. Let's go. I'll get this right. My husband will have to help me. Right? But what I'm saying is let's try. Let's by all means try to make people feel as good as we can. The world is hard enough already. We're always just bombarded with, things that are not going well. So if you come across somebody who smiles at you, who genuinely wants to be in your presence, who has a compliment that you know has been well thought out and is warranted, who is just authentic and genuine with you, you want more of that person. Oh, you will want to be near that person. You want to create that in your friendships, in your relationship. My goodness, you want to create that feeling. Yeah, let's not go there. But you want to do that because it absolutely works. It absolutely works. We don't remember what people say as much as we remember how they make us feel. So go out and make people feel good today, okay? So you guys, I'm gonna go off. Gotta finish doing the cooking. Got to go running. It's one of those days. Oh, by the way, let me tell you what's coming up. Stay with me a little bit. Where is my? Let me just send this up. I have an interview today. At 12 noon my time, 12 MST, 12 p.m. MST. I'd love if you join me for that. What I do on a Sunday interview, my Sunday interview is I try to bring on people who are immigrants doing great things in the world, I like to call it. And so this today at 12 noon, I will be speaking with Clement Essene. He is the founder, Essene, I think it is. He's the founder of the BIPOC Foundation, and he is in Lethbridge, Alberta. So his story is very interesting. Classic example of, you know what? If they don't want you at the table, you just build your own. And those kinds of stories as immigrants are very important for us to hear because they make us realize there is another way, or there are several ways to success in our adopted country. And I think Clement's story bears testimony to that. So join me for that. He has a very interesting business model. I went on his website and I was like, what is this? What am I even looking at? It's so, he'll explain it. But yeah, it's one of those companies that are just off the beaten track. So join me at 12 noon for that interview with Clement. And yeah, so also don't forget that the podcast is out. So go look at for the podcast on Basement Chronicles. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share this live stream if it has, in any way blessed you. Anyway, you guys, I'm out of here today. Thank you for being here with me this morning. Shout out to YouTube and to LinkedIn. I'll see you same time tomorrow for day 23 of This Just Came to Me. What will come to me tomorrow? I've already planned it, but if anything pops up, I will just have to go with that because after all, the series is called This Just Came.